All right, strap in, everyone. Today's deep dive, well, we're tackling success.
hmm
Big topic, right?
Mm.
But here's the twist. We're zeroing in on consistency as like the secret sauce.
Yeah, consistency, it sounds almost too simple,
Right.
but we're going deeper than just, keep at it.
Yeah.
This is about the law of 100. You familiar with that?
Okay, law of 100.
I'm hearing that more and more, but to be honest, I kind of lump it in with all those productivity fads, so convince me, what's the big deal?
All right, challenge accepted. You ever hear of keystone habits?
I have actually. It's like that stone in an archway, right? The one that holds the whole thing up.
Exactly. One spoon, take it out, boom, the whole structure goes down. Now think about your life.
Okay.
There's probably one habit, maybe seems small on its own, but if you nailed it consistently,
Domino effect.
exactly. It triggers a cascade of other positive changes. Like that keystone, it holds everything together. So it's not just about any habit. It's about finding the one that unlocks a bunch of other wins. Okay, but why 100 days? Why not a week, a month, a year?
It's strategic. Think of it like disappearing for 100 days.
Not literally, I hope.
Not literally, no. More like strategically stepping back from some commitments, the distraction.
A boot camp for your habits.
Yes. And you come out not just with that one habit change, but maybe your whole day is structured differently. You think differently even.
You're making this sound less like a to-do list and more like, I don't know, a personal evolution.
Because it can be. Here's the thing most people miss. Successful people, they're not necessarily geniuses.
Right.
They're just way more consistent.
What, are you saying I don't need to be some super brain?
Oh,
Just got to show up, consistent.
exactly. Think of anyone you admire, fitness, business, whatever. I bet they're ridiculously consistent.
Okay, that's a relief.
Right. Less about brilliance, more about being relentless.
Relentless. I like it. So this law of 100, it's picking the right habit, but then how do we actually wire that into our brains for good?
Ah, now we're getting into the good stuff. We're going to talk about how the brain actually works.
All right, let's crack open the neuroscience then,
Mm.
because good intentions are great. But knowing how our gray matter operates, that's where the real change happens.
Absolutely. So picture this. Your brain, it's like a forest,
Okay, I'm with you.
and all your habits, those are well-worn paths. You just walk them without thinking.
Right, those ruts we get stuck in.
Those are neural pathways. Literally, your brain's carved them out through repetition.
Okay.
But when you want to build a new habit, it's like hacking through a jungle.
No wonder it's so hard.
Right. Dense undergrowth. That's where this law of 100 comes in.
So it's like clearing a new path, but how does 100 days specifically do that?
It uses what we call neuroplasticity. Big word, but basically it's your brain's ability to rewire itself.
So we can actually change how our brains are wired.
You bet. Every time you repeat that keystone habit, you're strengthening that new path.
Like paving it, making it smoother each time.
Exactly. And get this, there are studies on this. Like London cab drivers, they got to memorize this insane map of the city.
I've heard about that. It's crazy.
Their hippocampi, the part of the brain for memory, it physically grows larger.
Wow, so their brains actually change shape.
Literally. Another study, people learning to juggle. After 3 months, the areas for movement, coordination, they're bigger.
So even if we don't feel like we're making progress at first, our brains are actually changing.
Exactly. That's why those 100 days are key.
It's giving our brain the time it needs to catch up to what we're trying to do.
You got it. And it makes you think, right, how many times have we given up too soon?
Oh, all the time. I bet I was just on the verge of something.
It's so easy to do. Hit a wall, think this isn't working, but what if that wall's a test?
A sign that we're actually pushing ourselves.
I love that. Breakdowns often come right before the breakthroughs.
Yeah.
It's the universe's way of saying, are you serious about this?
So the law of 100, it's not about avoiding those tough moments. It's about pushing through them.
Absolutely. Which brings me to a great technique, the Seinfeld calendar. Heard of that?
Oh, yeah. Isn't that the one with Jerry Seinfeld and all the red X's?
That's the one. The story goes, a young comedian asks Seinfeld, how do I get better? And Seinfeld says, get a big calendar. Every day you write jokes, put a red X on it.
And the point wasn't to write amazing jokes every day. It was just to do it, right?
Exactly. That chain of X's, it becomes its own motivation.
You don't want to break the streak.
You got it. Pure visual accountability. And it stops us from overthinking, which is our biggest enemy.
Oh, overthinking my specialty.
Right. We get stuck in analysis paralysis. The Seinfeld calendar and the law of 100, they force action.
Just do it, even before you totally believe it'll work.
Sometimes action comes before belief, but there's one more piece to this. Committing to something, even just for 100 days, it changes how you see yourself.
I haven't thought about it like that.
You're proving to yourself, hey, I'm the kind of person who keeps promises, even to myself.
Building that self-trust.
Exactly. And that spills over into everything. Suddenly you're more confident to tackle other challenges.
This is so much bigger than just one habit.
Right. It's a mindset shift.
Yeah.
So here's a big question. What if, from today, you finished everything you started?
Ooh, that's scary and kind of amazing.
Think of all the things we abandon. Now imagine committing to something, anything, for 3, 5 years. Where could you be?
It's almost overwhelming to think about. But what about those times when, like, we're putting in the work, but we're not seeing results?
That's where the Chinese bamboo tree comes in.
I think I've heard that one. Is that the one about being patient?
Yes, you plant the seed. For 6 years, nothing, not a zip above ground.
Really? 6 years?
Then in year 6, boom, it shoots up 80 feet in like 6 weeks.
That's crazy. It was doing something all that time, we just couldn't see it.
And that's how success often works. Unseen effort, preparation, then bam, breakthrough.
So those times we feel like we're stuck, maybe we're just building the roots.
Exactly, like that bamboo getting ready to explode.
It's a good reminder to trust the process,
Yeah.
even when we don't see instant results.
Big time. And applying that to the law of 100, it means embracing those first weeks, even months.
Knowing our brain's catching up.
It's a long game, not a quick fix.
This whole law of 100, it's like less of a hack and more of a philosophy.
I'd agree with that.
It changes how we see goals, challenges, even our own potential.
And it's available to everyone. We all have the capacity for this kind of consistency, this resilience.
We just need the right framework to tap into it.
Law of 100, it's just one way to do that.
All right, I'm convinced. Law of 100, it's powerful stuff. But let's get practical. Where do we even start?
Got to find your keystone habit, right?
Yeah.
The one that'll have the biggest ripple effect.
Not just any habit, the one that unlocks all the other good stuff.
Exactly. And it can't be vague, not be healthier, but walk 30 minutes a day, something specific.
Actionable. I like that. Okay, so we pick the habit, commit for 100 days. We know breakdowns are going to happen.
Yep.
Then what?
Then we use one of the most powerful tools we've got, visualization.
Oh, interesting. Visualization.
A little skeptical.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. Does that really work?
Tons of research on it. Olympians, top CEOs, they all use it. It's training your brain to see the outcome you want.
So, like, if my habit is writing for an hour every day, I should picture myself at the desk, words flowing.
Exactly. The more vivid you make it, the more your brain believes it's possible.
It's like giving our brains a preview of the future we're building.
I like that. And the more we visualize, the more motivated we are to actually do the work.
So it's not just willpower. It's about painting that picture in our minds.
And here's a tip. Use all your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, even feel when you achieve that goal?
Make it a full-on sensory experience.
Exactly. The more immersive, the better. And remember, the law of 100, it's about progress, not perfection.
Right, because we all mess up, have those off days.
Of course, life happens. The key is don't beat yourself up, just get back on track.
Don't let one slip up derail the whole thing.
Exactly. And when you do stumble, learn from it. What happened? What can you do differently next time?
This whole deep dive, it's been amazing. The law of 100, it's so much more than just like a hack. It's a whole way of thinking.
Totally agree. It's about those small, consistent actions, understanding our brains and harnessing that power of visualization.
And the best part, anyone can do it. We all have that potential for consistency, for resilience.
Just got to tap into it.
Well, on that note, huge thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Build Strong Habits.